tuning in this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This afternoon's briefing, I would like to start with the highlighting of Section 40 of the Electoral Act. Section 40 of the Electoral Act is on voter lists. Section 40 says, Section 41 reads, the supervisor must ensure that register of voters is subdivided into voter lists for each established polling station with such details of all the voters assigned to that polling station as determined by the supervisor. The supervisor, number 2 reads, the supervisor must ensure that each voter list is prepared, the supervisor must ensure that each voter list prepared under subsection 1 is printed and distributed to the respective polling station for the use of the election officials at the polling station. Number 3, the supervisor must ensure that special voting lists are compiled for those voting at alternative methods under this Act. Number 4, the supervisor may require the heads of any institution at which polling will take place, including hospitals and other health and long-term care facilities, pre-trial detention centers, prisons, military units, if applicable, to compile a list of the voters in the approved form residing at their facilities and forward the list to the supervisor within 7 days of the dissolution of Parliament. Number 5, the heads of any institution in subsection 4 must comply with the directions of the supervisor and must assist the supervisor with any other request made by the supervisor. Number 6, the supervisor is responsible for compiling the register of postal voters and any other special voter list applicable under this Act. Number 7, the supervisor must include a notation beside the name of each voter on the regular voter list who is also on a special voter list under subsection 3, indicating that the person is registered for an alternative voting method, and any such notation shall include that such person is not entitled to vote on the polling day at the polling station to which he or she is assigned. Number 8, the supervisor may publish the provisional voter list for each polling station as approved by the Electoral Commission on or before 30th September of each year, except in an election year. Number 9, any political party or candidate may, upon the payment of such fees as approved by the supervisor, acquire a copy of the voter list containing the names, genders, address details, and voter numbers of the voters. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are the rules in relation to voter lists. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I can take you to some online queries that we are receiving, where some individuals, particularly one person from Lambasa, has been asking for, and in rather very nasty language, inappropriately, asking for the voter lists to be published online. First and foremost, I would like to say that the data that is contained in the voter list is private data of individual citizens of this country. This data is protected, your right to privacy. It is not appropriate for the Fijian Elections Office or any election management body for that matter to publish the entire voter list on the internet. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, in today's day and age, you see people taking pictures out of other people's Facebook profiles, making it so inappropriate and pushing it out. What will happen to the data of about 700,000 Fijians? Ladies and gentlemen, Fiji, the registration of voters is voluntary. That means you decide that you will give that data to the Fijian Elections Office for the purposes of elections. That means you also give a certain level of trust to the Fijian Elections Office to ensure that your data is protected by us, that we do not publish your data in a manner in which it can be exploited. The first and foremost thing that anybody who is running a big institution in this country wants is the data from the Fijian Elections Office. Why? Because this is the most credible set of data in Fiji on the citizens of this country. But that's not what it is meant for. It is data meant for the general election. It is for the election only. Hence, you will see that the FEO does not release the voter information to any agency. We have even gone to the extent of denying warrants, requesting for the availability of this data, because under section 138 of the Electoral Act, ladies and gentlemen, it says that any person who uses any information contained in the register of voters, register of postal voters, or voter list for a commercial purpose or other purpose unrelated to an election commits an offence, and shall be liable upon conviction to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 5 years. That is the protection of the data kept in the National Register of Voters, which is the voter list. So, what will be the protection if I suddenly take the entire 693,000 people's data and put it on the internet? I cannot give you that guarantee of protection, because people right now are in the phase where they steal photographs of people from Facebook profiles and turn it into inappropriate stuff. What will happen to your data? What will happen if I put everybody's addresses, their addresses, then I will put their photo, then I will put their voter card number and your date of birth and your gender. That's your entire life now published by the election management body. For what purpose? Ladies and gentlemen, as the supervisor of elections, I do not see it fit, nor appropriate, nor necessary for the FEO to put this data on the internet. The law does not allow for it, the law does not require it, and we will not do it. If you have this inquiry, namely this person called Kamlesh Prasad from Lambasa, who seems to be completely inundated with this one goal in his life, we will protect the data of every Fijian with the laws that are in place and with every guarantee that we can. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to assure you that despite this person's behavior on the internet and his irrelevant calls, we will adhere to the law as it is, and we will not publish the voter list on the internet. Individually, you are entitled to inspect the voter list, which has been done already prior to the election. We had put out the provisional voter list for a display during the last month in various centers across the country. You are entitled to go and inspect it, but we refuse to allow anybody to take pictures of the voter list. You're not allowed to do that. We also allowed you access to view other registrations on the voter list by arrangement with the FEO, which is in the law. But you can't take it home. The only entities who are entitled to access the voter list are the approved candidates in the election, the independent candidates, or the political parties. And they can do so by paying a fee of $1,000. Even the data that they get is also limited. They don't get your entire details that we record at the FEO for the purposes of your verification. So, ladies and gentlemen, the simple fact is that it's just not that because it's a voter list, you should have it on the internet. No country does it. If a person wants to give their information out on the internet, they will have to specifically consent to it. I doubt that even a single journalist right here will consent to it. Right? There are people who want to stay protected. They want not to be put on the internet. There are many people in Fiji who are not on Facebook also, the social media channel. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is very important to understand that whilst it's happening at election time, we have to be very careful about these kind of calls that people are making under the guise of a free and fair election. These are their demands. No, we have to ensure that the elections are conducted first and foremost according to the laws of Fiji. Secondly, we have to ensure that the dignity, the privacy of every voter is protected. And to do so, we will not publish the voter list on the internet. It has never been done in Fiji. I don't know where they got this idea from, and it will not be done again. If they were so adamant that it needs to be done, in the next round of the Parliamentary Standing Committee's review of the electoral laws, they can make such submissions. But it won't be done this election, and I want to put all those members of the public who are very concerned about this, please let your fears be rested. It's not happening. If a person is really wanting to review the voter list, the political parties have it, go through the political parties. If you want to individually come and review the voter list, make the necessary arrangement with the FEO and let us make that facility available to you. You are allowed to do it by law. But we will not allow any pictures to be taken, and of course, we will certainly not let you take it home. The last point, ladies and gentlemen, the management of the voter list in Fiji is the most transparent. We are giving you data by age, by gender, by division, by area, by hub, This data was never available prior to 2014. In 2006, if you look at the EU Observer Report, the Commonwealth Observer Report, the USP Observer Team's report, you will find that one of the things they are all saying is they did not have the exact breakdown of the data of the voters. Go back to 1992, the election was delayed for 3 months because the election management body could not get the voter list ready on time. So they kept moving the date in 1992. In the 2006 election, they had to use the 2001 election voter list. And then they decided, no, the 2001 election voter list was not accurate, so we have to go and review the voter list, and we have to make a fresh new voter list. So you had problems of one person being listed in one area and not listed in the other. In 2006, you were entitled to vote in 2 constituencies. Some people had their names in one constituency, but no name in the other constituency. Right? So these were some of the issues of the past. At that time, the gentleman who was making these requests, he was also able to request for voter lists. Yet we have no such requests there. So it's not going to be a new phenomenon if somebody requests for this voter list and is denied. You have access, you use your access according to the law. It will not be made available on the internet. And for members of the public who want to check their own details, you are obviously entitled to do that, and all you have to do is text your voter card number to 1500 and you will be able to inspect the voter list. That's your inspection of your own record on the voter list. It's as simple as it can be, and also it's instantaneous. And you can try that now if you want, but it is instantaneous. Now, whilst I was saying all that, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to reiterate to the members of the public that we are still in the process of getting the final number of voters on the postal voter roll. This is your opportunity to send your voter card number to 1500 and to check whether your polling venue is correctly listed and whether you are listed in the correct polling venue, and all these details you have to check. If you want to prepare for the election, this is a critical stage of preparing for the election, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, your blue card has your polling venue details on it, but it is also important for your own peace of mind to text your voter card number to 1500. It's a free of charge service, and you will be able to access your details as to where you are voting. And of course, if you have applied for a postal ballot like I have, you will be told by the system that you are a postal voter. So that's important. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, so far we have received 3,808 received and approved 3,808 postal voting applications as at 3:30 p.m. We have 91 applications currently in process. We have packed 450 postal ballot papers and dispatched it. We dispatched 2 yesterday in front of you, and 1 has already voted. So the voting for the 2022 general election has commenced, as the first postal vote has returned. And of course, it's a very important task. Everybody should vote. Members of the media are also informed that at this stage you are all postal voters, to please track with your teams as to the whereabouts of your applications. If you have not applied till now, 5 days to go before postal voting's closing, applications close. And I want to also clarify that this is the application stage. So once you apply, we will process your application, and once it is approved, then we will dispatch your postal ballot. And you will have until 6 o'clock on the 14th of December to return that postal ballot. You don't have to return it by 23rd of November. 23rd is only for applications for postal ballot. So kindly note that, as it is very, very important that you are not confused about this. And if you are overseas, you will have to vote by postal. And for that, you have to apply now so that the postal can be dispatched as soon as possible. The postal for overseas is going to be dispatched by DHL, and as soon as the dispatch reaches DHL right in our postal vote processing center, they will generate for you a tracking number, and you will be able to track your parcel as it makes its way to you. And of course, if you have to redirect it or reroute it, you can do so through the DHL tracking mechanism. So it's very advanced, and it has been very functional for us. But of course, if you are a person who is requesting for a postal vote from, say, Netherlands, and it takes material to get to you in 3 weeks, then you'll have to have applied already, so that in this first batch of 450, we are sending your postal vote today so that it can come back just before the election. We don't want it to be lost in, or don't want it to be lost out just because it was here one day late. Another update, ladies and gentlemen, the grand finale of the Know Your Election quiz is going to take place on the 27th of November. Next week, Monday, the registrations close. The winner will take home $1,000. The following 5 will take home $500. And then the following 5 will take home $200. That's a lot of cash prizes going into December and Christmas. Please register your teams, compete in the most interesting grand finale for this entire electoral cycle. Very interesting questions have been developed by Shinam, and I'm looking forward to the event. I was thinking that on that day, perhaps we could even have a media event. All of us can, from 7:30, wait until 9 o'clock for the finals, and then all the numbers can come up. So we'll